Hi, psych people. Today I want to go over our slides on development. So these slides are really great. They're pretty self-explanatory. You go through, they're not tough. The only thing I will say is that it's a chapter and it smushes our whole development from the time that we're born into the time that we die into one chapter. So some things kind of need a little bit of expansion on, and so you'll see that for this chapter, I'll upload like a few videos. So the first thing is, what it does is it talks about the different stages of development, right? There are plenty of different theorists who all have different theories on the stages of development. So what those stages are, how long they last, what happens in those stages, right? Which perspective they're looking at it from, all that, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. Then I'm going to upload a video on reflexes, just kind of explaining baby reflexes to you guys. But if you guys know what reflexes are, they're just those involuntary biological innate reactions that we have to like certain stimulus being presented. So like, for instance, when you go to the doctor and you're sitting there and they take the little triangle thingy and it's on a stick, right? And they bang it up against your kneecap and your leg goes, woo, right? That's a reflex, right? Or even like if something goes in the back of your throat and you want to throw up and you gag, that's your gag reflex, right? And so a lot of these reflexes have like an evolutionary basis to them. Like that gag reflex is there to protect you, right? Make sure that harmful things aren't going in when they shouldn't be. So you'll see other baby reflexes, like if you've ever done like this to a baby, like where you're playing with them, you're holding them, they're laughing, and you go, right? What do they do when you blow in their face? They go, right? That's a reflex. Another baby reflex that we have is if you've ever had a baby and maybe you were holding them and maybe put like their pacifier to the side of their face or their bottle or something like that, or even a nipple to the side of their face. What do? They go like that, right? They try and get it in their mouth so that they can suck it and they can eat off of it. So that's a way of being able to protect themselves, right? Being able to make sure that they're able to survive by being able to eat, right? So again, I'll post a video. It won't be a short video about reflexes. Another thing I want to get into with you guys is attachment. Now, our slides go over 3 different types of attachments with 3 different theorists. Each one of those I'll post a separate video for, a short one. So the first one is with Konrad Lorenz. Konrad Lorenz was a zoologist who discovered this idea behind like birds. He was working with birds and he noticed that when they hatched, they would immediately like cling to him and just follow him everywhere they went. Like if you've ever seen ducks in a row, how they kind of follow that big duck around, right? And so he was able to apply that to humans. And this idea of what's called imprinting, right? When the bird or the human kind of follows or learns from the first thing that they see, right? They kind of cling on to that. And so it kind of addressed that whole readiness to learn thing that people have. Like if you've ever been around like a baby, they're ready to learn immediately, especially like the little ones, they're ready to learn. Whether it's the sucking and swallowing thing, like that's coordination, like it is. Especially you're sucking, you're swallowing, you're breathing, you're doing a whole lot all at once, and it's new, but you learn it, right? And so what happens is, especially in little ones, we have these time periods where it's a sensitive period, right? And so during these sensitive periods, we are, they call it plasticity. It's kind of when you ever heard people describe kids as sponges? Like you have the optimal time to learn certain things. That's what that is. So, like for instance, if you've ever learned taken a language class as an adult, or even like a teenager or something like that, like it's hard, right? However, little kids, they'll pick up on 2nd, 3rd languages like this, won't they? Right? So it could be really, a good time to teach kids things when they're little. The next person that they highlighted was the work that was done by Harry Harlow. Harry Harlow was a researcher who had these monkeys, these baby monkeys, and he gave them mamas, adopted mamas. And so these adoptive mothers were made out of wire. They, cold, wiry, whatever. And one would have food, and the other one would have like a warm, cuddly blanket, right? And he would put the monkeys in some type of distress. So the monkeys would run off to one and like kind of, go against everything that we thought. Like food is kind of, the best thing ever. Everybody wants food, right? Or training things, we always give them snacks, even kids, right? Potty training, give them snacks, things like that. But those monkeys would run to the cloth mother, the one with the warm, soft cloth. So what that taught us is little ones, they like comfort and warmth and support. That type of stuff is really, really important, right? So that attachment is kind of key. Then, and like I said, I'll put another video up for that. Last thing I'll put a video up, well, not the last, but another thing I'll put up a video is Mary Ainsworth. Now, this is a woman who did an experiment with little ones where she would have them in an environment with like a room and have their parent in there with them and introduce like a stranger into the situation and then have the parent leave and then have the parent come back and just kind of watch the kid's reaction, right? What is this little one doing when this parent is leaving and when this parent is, what's going on here? So she came up with 4 different types of attachment, right? So the first one is secure. And this is said to be the best one, right? This is the one where the child would greet the parent with positive emotions, but they were distressed when they left. Like, like, hey, you left me with this random, right? The next one is avoidant. Those are when the child would kind of avoid the parents, wouldn't really care if they're there, if they're not there, like, whatever. And then the third one is ambivalent, and these are when they were wary of the strangers. They were upset when the parent left, and they were kind of ambivalent when the parents came back, like, kind of good on you, And then the fourth one is disorganized. And that's when the child is kind of just confused or apprehensive, just kind of like, And what was interesting about this is they also said that there were children who almost kind of seemed a little angry towards the parents, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you left me, like that. And those children were very, very upset. So that's that. So I wanted to talk about parenting styles next. So there are 4 different types of parenting styles that we're going to go over in this class: authoritarian, authoritative, permissive, and uninvolved. Uninvolved, you might also be here as like somebody call it neglectful, okay? So authoritarian parents, those are parents that are very, and you can think about your parenting style if you're a parent, or your parenting style if you want to be a parent. You can think about whoever raised you parenting style. Actually, I think that's what one of your discussion questions are about. So you might want to think about it, right? So rigid is what we see authoritarian, my way or the highway. These are parents who will provide for their children, and but it really is like, no, I said such and such, what I say goes, right? They're not really that flexible in terms of hearing the child's perspective, right? Another thing is, the next one is authoritative. These are parents who set clear limits with their children, but they're willing to reason with them as well. So like, these might be parents who say things like, you know what? If you do good on this test, we can go out and do something fun. Or, oh, you want to go to your friend Jackie's house? That's fine. Clean your room first, right? So set those clear limits, but they're willing to reason with them, right? Even like hearing their child's perspective and things like that, and just hearing their child out. Permissive is the next one, and that's when the parents are very, very relaxed, and sometimes can be very inconsistent too. So this might be the parents who let their kids wear tutus to church, right, with big galoshes and just things that you don't typically see. they might be those parents, the parents that maybe allow, like my cousin, she's very permissive as a parent. And she used to allow her child to color on the wall. Now, let me tell you something, first of all. Her child is one of the best artists I've ever seen, and she's like 16 now. But when she was little, she used to let her color on the walls. And she's like, no, that's how she expresses herself. It's fine. And I'm like, what? Oh my goodness, I can't believe you're doing this. But she used to let her color on the wall. She's like, I'll paint over it when I'm ready. What? Right? But that was, her parenting style. It was very like freedom of expression, very relaxed, like, go on, do what you want, baby. I'm fine. You want to do that? Okay, I'll support you, right? And then uninvolved or neglectful. These are the parents who show little interest in their children. These are usually these parents. Yeah, do what you want. Leave me alone. Those are those parents, okay? So, I actually had made this lovely little chart, and I'll just post a picture of it onto you guys's, my RCC account. But basically, it says like whether or not the parent is super demanding, and I know you can't really see it, or either very supportive. And so it's like if they're a little demanding, or if they're a lot, if they're really supportive, or if they're not, So, I will post that for you. And then the last thing I want to go over for these particular set of slides is Kohlberg's moral reasoning theory, right? So he said that there's 3, and they happen throughout our development. And so the first one is pre-conventional. These are when kids don't do things because, in terms of their morals, they don't do things because, essentially it's going to get them in trouble. It's like, that's the rules. I don't want to get in trouble. The next one is conventional. These are when kids don't do things because society says it's wrong and it's against the rules. Okay? The last one is when children might start, or actually it happens during early adolescence, start questioning. And you're like, maybe is this my set of values? Do I believe that this is wrong? Things like that. So to give you guys an example, so something like pre-conventional would be like somebody touching an outlet, right? We tell our kids, don't touch the outlet because it's wrong and you're gonna get in trouble, right? So a child might say, okay, I'm not gonna touch this outlet because I don't wanna get hit, right? Or I don't wanna have to sit in timeout, right? That's the pre-conventional stage, when they're all kind of worried about the consequences only. The conventional stage is when they say, okay, I'm not going to touch this outlet because it's wrong. That's against the rules. Why would I do that? Right? The last one, the post-conventional, would be like, why can't I touch the outlet? I mean, I'm older. I'm more responsible. It's fine. I'm not going to, electrocute myself. I'm not putting anything like a fork in there, right? Maybe I can touch the outlet. Or maybe I can't because it's not, I don't believe in it, but it's my belief system, right? So that kind of wraps up those. If you guys, as always, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Reach out to me immediately so we can get through this, okay? I know it's a lot of information. It is easy, though, once you break it down. Like I said, there will be plenty of videos on these for you guys to look at. So again, have a good one, and I'll talk to you guys later.